Hello, hello. Happy Launch Codes Football Friday, everyone. Or Thursday.
Hey guys, week three is upon us. Let's go.
Yep. I'm Daniel. That's Chelsea. It's always someone in the background making noise. And week three is here, and hopefully it's not as crazy as it was the past 2 weeks. If it keeps escalating, if it seriously keeps escalating, we're going to need heart medication for Halloween.
That's probably true.
But we're going to talk about the three games this week that we are most looking forward to in terms of storyline, in terms of what we think is going to be a good game, in terms of just, a little of everything. Because there are some, well, I guess every week there's some big matchups, but like there's some big early matchups and also very important potential what we see from a team or player matchups as well. And you're going to see what we're talking about once we get started. So, Chels, ladies first. What's one of the three games that you're most looking forward to outside the Colts?
So, gotta pay homage to the local fans in our area. We're in North Carolina, which means the vast majority of local fans are Panthers fans. If you were a Panthers fan
I'm sorry.
and this past weekend, yeah. If you were like him this past weekend, you were very angry for three quarters and then very excited for most of the fourth and then very sad at the end of the fourth. Um, Bryce looked terrible for three-fourths of that game. But in the fourth, he had three touchdowns. I mean, he looked like the Bryce of old. So good Bryce needs to show up against the Falcons this week. The Falcons are not a cakewalk. It's a divisional game. They have Penix. They have talent on offense. Their defense, I would say, is above average. So this is probably going to be one of the toughest games for Bryce of the year so far. Good Bryce needs to show up. If bad Bryce continues to play the vast majority of these games and get off to a slow start, bad Bryce is going to get replaced in the draft in January or in March. So good Bryce needs to show up. And like my husband, I'm sure many of you were very mad at Xavier Legette last week. It was just a very for him. He needs to either show up or put up. If he does nothing this week, he's probably going to get benched for Jimmy Horn, who's a rookie. And when they get Jalen Coker back, he's going to be even more on the bench. He showed no urgency in a 2-minute drill. He's dropping passes left and right. He got into fights in preseason. I mean, his character, like his accent is funny. Like he seems like a nice guy, a cool guy, but he has just not lived up to standards at all for being a late first round pick or a mid first round pick. And right now he's a bust if he continues on this path that he's on. So he needs to show up, be the wide receiver two that Bryce needs alongside Ted McMillan, who is looking like an absolute stud of a pick right now. And he needs to show Carolina, I belong here. Because if he doesn't, he's going to get replaced by Coker and by Jimmy Horn and by other people on that roster who just want it more than he does. He just doesn't look like he wants it. And I don't know if that's a work ethic thing. I don't know what that is, but he needs to pull it together because he is going to not. He's the kind of player that would not work in Carolina and then would go somewhere else and would be great. You know what I mean? Like he was great in college. He looked awesome at South Carolina. It's like he would go to like the Chiefs or something and he'd be like 1,000 yard receiver.
Well, I can
So
say,
like show
yeah,
Carolina what you're worth, show up, put up a big game, and you should be okay. But you got to prove yourself. I mean, this is not year one anymore. You got to prove yourself, dude.
well, you can say the same thing about Bryce in terms of looking good in college, goes to a team, struggles, and then leave the team. Because
True.
I think at this point, Bryce Young might his best situation is taking like the Geno, Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield path of leaving the team that drafted you high and going off and maybe finding a better career somewhere else. But at the same time, in terms of the divisional aspect of the matchup, Penix looked good. Atlanta seems like they're actually going to compete seriously for the division. They were a
Yeah,
misfield
it's a big
away.
game for Carolina, especially.
Oh, I thought Atlanta more important, like because I don't think Carolina is any threat to make the playoffs or even make the division. Sorry.
See, I think they could sneak in as a seven seed. So if they want to show that they are not flaming garbage, they need to have a big game this week.
All I know is it's going to be tough against Atlanta because Atlanta looked really good. Their defense looked good against. Well, then again, it could just be McCarthy, but
Yeah, and that
how
reminds me of the meme. It's like, this is the first trade I've ever seen in which both sides lost because Bryce has been bad, Caleb Williams has been bad, DJ Moore has been bad, the picks the Panthers took have been bad. Everyone's been bad. So speaking of Caleb Williams, I'm seeing that you have that one as a game to watch. Is that right?
Look, you have to look good against someone, Caleb. You have to look. You're facing Dallas. Dallas doesn't have the best defense. The secondary is even worse. Russell Wilson just put up almost 500 yards against them this past week in week two. You have to look good against someone. This is probably your best chance. You're home. You're facing a depleted Dallas secondary. They just had a tough, emotional overtime victory um, at home the week prior. This is your week to show out. I'm not saying you have to go out there and throw 500 yards, all that stuff, but show the potential that everyone has like, been looking for you for like the past since you've been drafted, since we were like a sophomore in college, not even like even your junior year when you're leaving college, just since early on. It's just I don't like seeing bad quarterback play. I don't know if you notice that. I don't know who does, but it's really frustrating seeing a guy that he has the talent to play well. He's athletic enough to move around the pocket, to be a little bit mobile. We saw that in week one. But he's still holding on to the ball. He's still not making the correct reads and stuff. The Lions game was just that was just painful to watch. And I give credit Dallas, if they take this win, they're 2-1, which is about what people expect them. They expect them to lose week one, win in week two, and like probably win week three potentially. So for in terms of Dallas's playoffs future, they have a tough schedule ahead. They need to win games like these. But this is obviously week three, so this isn't like this may be tell the story of Caleb, but this it's been now a year and some change, and we've seen two, maybe three good games from Caleb. So I hope that he has at least a coming out party against, a team that's not the best defensively.
Yeah, no, I agree. He needs to look good. He's in the same boat as Bryce. Yeah, they need to turn this terrible trade into a good one. Um, in other news, a big AFC South divisional matchup. Not mine, actually. We play the Titans this week. I actually have my eye on Texans Jags. Jags will look better than I expected. And the Texans were recording this on Monday Night Football, week two right now. And not Bryce, CJ Stroud looks better against they're playing the Falcons or not the Falcons. They're playing the Bucks right now. And he has a touchdown already. He's already surpassed his fantasy points this week from last week, which is what's most important to me, obviously.
That's
No, just
horrible
kidding.
that he's always surpassed fantasy
Yes,
points.
he had 8 last week. It was terrible. But that's a big game for the division. Assuming that the Colts can beat the Titans, which the Titans are bad, but these divisional games, especially on the road, are no cakewalk. The Colts always manage to blow one or two of these a season. It's just kind of in our DNA. So this could be a trap game for the Colts potentially. They should win if they continue playing the way they are. It shouldn't matter. So they should be 3-0. So if Texans and Jags want to keep up to fight for the division, this is going to be a big game for them. Personally, I expect that CJ Stroud can probably outduel the Jacksonville offense to get a win. But I think that low key is going to be a good game. I don't know where it's at. Let me check real quick. So it's at Jacksonville. So that's a plus for Jacksonville. Their fans are going to show up for a intra-divisional game, but that's big. Assuming that the Colts win in week three against Tennessee, I mean, the Texans are 0-1 right now. So if they don't win tonight, when we're recording, they're going to be 0-2. They're going to need a win bad. So we'll see how it goes, but I think that is a game to watch in the early window.
Jacksonville are kicking themselves for losing that Bengal game in week two. They are absolutely kicking themselves. So
Yeah,
it's
I'm sure Jacksonville fans were just beside themselves, especially when Burrow left that game.
and it's like it's painful watching that. I don't like. I think Tennessee. I'm more interested in not Tennessee. It's just one of those things where Jacksonville, that division's up for grabs. Honestly, that
It
division,
is.
anyone can take that division at this point. Houston, they the times they look good. There's times where it's week one. And Jacksonville and Indianapolis it's honestly been looking like the best team probably in the conference at this point. Then, well, even then, Buffalo can't defensively, couldn't do anything against Lamar and Derrick Henry. So I think Indy's been looking like the best team.
Which is crazy if you know anything about us. Anything.
And I think Tennessee's still no a year or two away. They have Campbell has shown talent, but you've had three teams that can seriously compete for the division. I'm happy that Jacksonville looking a little better, but
They finally figured out that ETN is the best running back they
yeah, I don't
have
know why it took him so long. That
because they're stupid. It's so Jacksonville to be like, we took this guy. You know what? We're gonna start Tank Bigsby. He's the one. Like, what? I don't even like Jacksonville, and I knew that was a mistake. Like, come on, man. It seems Liam Cohen is a competent head coach, at least in week one. Now week two, we don't talk about that because they lost to Joe Burrowless Bengals, but still,
this is gonna be a crazy division. All I can say is out of every
who would have
division.
thought?
No, yeah, that's right. Who would have thought? 'Cause everyone thought Houston was just going to run away with it, but apparently not. And speaking of more division matchups, we go from the South out to the West. I guess if you're looking, well, this is West. Oh, who cares? Denver at the Chargers. These, I think we both established that these are probably the two best teams in the division at the moment, which is crazy. So it's Kansas City's in the division, but Kansas City needs to get a win before we call them the best team. I like this is just a matchup of two really good coaches. Just Sean Payton, Harbaugh going head to head. I like Bo Nix looked a lot better than he did in week one. Um, it's
Except
going
for the
to
pick on the 9 yard line. Not that I'd know anything about that.
be. I got your little coach shot in there. But no, this was my division winner, and I keep wanting to say San Diego. I so badly want to say San Diego, but the Chargers, Los Angeles, the artist formerly known as San Diego. So this was my pick for the win the division, and I believe was Denver your pick to take the division or a wild card in your
I think
preview
I picked Denver.
for division.
Yes.
So this is going to be interesting in that regards, but I do think these are the two best teams in that division. I think Justin Herbert so far has.
No, I didn't. I had the Broncos making it in as a wild card.
Oh, wow.
Well,
Well, I can win.
let's
Hopefully,
not talk about that. It's fine, guys. It's fine. Everything's fine.
moving on. But no, Hubbards looked awesome so far. What we've seen in terms of at least week one, he's going to play later tonight. Um, so it's be interesting to see if Denver can rebound defensively because no offense, Chels, but like I didn't expect Daniel Jones to do that. I didn't expect
I
Jonathan
didn't expect Daniel Jones to do that. It's not just you. I thought we were going to lose that game. Honestly, that I picked us to lose.
So like
You can check my pick'em, my free to play pick'em. I picked the Broncos at home. I was extremely disrespectful to my own team.
shameless plug. Um, and Zoe's acting up. She seems Zoe wants to pick the Chargers. But
Apparently,
no, like this, I'm not. This is good early division matchup. Um, so I totally expect this to be a close, tight knit. I can see this honestly a classic 16-13 game, which would be really fun to watch.
I'd rather a shootout, but to each his own.
To each their own.
My last game that I'm highlighting is Lions Ravens Monday Night Football, ending week three with a banger, dude. Lions Ravens should be a great game. Hopefully, my fantasy victory is already complete without Derrick Henry. I know the Lions defense isn't that good, but I'm gonna be mad stressed if I'm watching that game and I need Derrick Henry to carry me to victory, which he could do. Except this week, you know how many points he had this week? 2.3. Not that I'm mad, it's fine. I would have lost anyway, but 2.3, they scored 41 points. Are you serious? Anyway, but yeah, no, I think it'll be probably a very offensive game. If the Ravens defense continues to look like what it's looked like over the past 2 weeks, there probably won't be much defense. And the Lions defense has Aiden Hutchinson and a couple other guys, and they're still not the best. They're better than last year, though. Like their whole team was hurt last year on defense. So they got that going for them. But that should be a great game. A great game. I mean, honestly, Lions Ravens, I mean, I feel like it's a toss up
That
for who
makes awesome,
wins.
man.
I don't know. I mean, probably going to go Ravens just because they have Derrick Henry. Um,
Don't,
but
don't,
man, but
don't
but man, that's going to be the best game of the week for sure.
I said don't sleep on Gibbs and Montgomery, that combo.
Dude, Gibbs is awesome.
Yeah. And like, yeah, we're ending Monday night. The best game in week three, knock on wood, would probably be the Monday
Watch
night.
it be like 6-3. Do you remember? I think it was 4 years ago when the Colts played the Broncos on Thursday Night Football, and the score was literally 6-3, and it went into overtime, and it was the most boring,
That's
dry football game in the history of the modern era of NFL football.
I think
That was
that
horrible.
made people start questioning, should we actually have Thursday night football?
I almost turned it off. My husband was like, please turn it off. I was like, I want to, but I can't tear myself away.
The train that crashed. But
It
no,
was horrible, dude.
this is gonna be the hopefully the best game. I do like honestly with Joe Burrow out now, the Ravens, this is their division to lose. There's no
It is.
talent wise, there really should be no reason they should lose. But if the Ravens can do one thing, they can blow games.
Which is just crazy to me because they have a Harbaugh too, and I don't understand how this always happens, but
And the Lions, they're gonna have to start keeping up. They're gonna have to keep up with the Joneses with the Packers, looking like they're a good team. And who knows what happens with Minnesota? But their division is going always gonna be like this in terms of we have three dogs and ironically
and
one
the Bears.
one the
Aww.
cub. Yeah, three dogs and one bear, the cub, the bear cub. So no, this is I do week the Monday night's gonna be a great game, and going with my last pick would be another division matchup, which most people wouldn't really think of, but the NFC West is honestly that's gonna be an open door for all four teams. So Arizona and San Francisco is gonna be interesting because San Francisco, outside of McCaffrey, they're just playing with a bunch of backups, and they're gonna roll out their bodies and somehow hopefully come away with a victory. Because has Arizona really impressed you that much personally? Like I haven't really been that wild by
They
Arizona,
looked good against Carolina for 3 quarters.
and then they don't
I mean, good. They didn't look like extraordinary. Like they were fine.
they almost lost at the end. Like Arizona isn't really that much of a they're not that much of a war beater. I don't expect them to really be that special, but I think everyone at the division is actually gonna have a really good is going to compete for that, compete for the Ch West Championship. So I think by default you have to really look at this matchup because they're going to catch San Francisco a really good time. They're starting Mac Jones. They have Ricky Pearsall at wideout. They have catching.
Even Jennings is hurt.
Why not? Okay, sure. Why not? Just who else is that? I think Shanahan has kidney stones at this point.
Oh dear.
So, you got if you go catch them early on, you might catch them when they're already hobbled. So I think this could be
Yeah.
a big matchup for Arizona if they want to win the division. This would be a game they should really have to win when San Francisco is this hobble in San Francisco. So you'll have to play them again at home later in the
They
season.
cannot lose against San Francisco having 3 star players out. That they just can't. If they do, it's an embarrassment.
Yeah. Then you're the
And
Saints.
yeah. And I was gonna say in regards to the Bears Cowboys game, I don't know if you saw, but Jalen Johnson is pretty much gonna miss the entire year on the Bears defense with a groin injury.
No, I saw
So
people get
not a good look
I
for
didn't
their
realize it was gonna be
secondary.
yeah, but that's that was again it's what's going on with Chicago, man. I just feel like they're just
They're
every
gonna make it 7 seed. No, I don't think I actually believe that anymore, guys. But it's only
Chicago.
week 2. I mean, there's 15 weeks left.
Who knows what could happen, but that's the joy of watching football. That's the joy of NFL football, and that was the joy of our new not recap, our new preview podcast, our now second podcast a week. We are doing two a week during the football season, so I hope you sincerely enjoy.
Yeah, we've upgraded you guys. So keep an eye out for 2 a week, not just one.
Yeah, we're doing two a days now, and it's just
Mm-hmm.
and we keep having problems to be three a days. No,
Oh dear.
I'm thinking about Remember the Titans.
Daniel's gonna run me into the ground. No, just kidding.
Well, anyway, we are going to head out for a great weekend of football fun. Chelsea, do what you do best and give them handles.
Yeah, so thanks for watching, guys. Tune back in next week for our recap of week 3. In the meantime, check us out on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok at Launch Codes Football. We are on Twitter at Launch Codes FB, on Launch Codes, or not Launch Codes, on Twitch at Launch Codes Football, and YouTube as well at Launch Codes Football. We are getting close to 50 subs on YouTube. It's kind of our first milestone with us as the new pairing this year on the pod. So if you could give us a sub on there, that'd be highly appreciated. Keep an eye out for new content, polls, hot takes, discussions, and everything else that comes along with a now 17 game long football season. So have a great day, everyone. I'm Chelsea.
I'm Daniel.
And we will see you next week. Happy week 3.
Adios, muchachos.
See ya.